Hello, and today we're in Perivale and it's raining. Hello, welcome to another in the series of Ealing Library's Local History YouTube videos. My name is Dr Jonathan Oates, I'm the archivist, and for once we're actually sitting inside recording a video. We're inside the Myllet Arms and it's just on Western Avenue, not far from the Hoover building. Also not far from St Mary's Perivale Church, of which there is an earlier YouTube video. Perivale was once a very small place. In fact, before the 20th century, there were less than 100 people living here, with basically 5 farms and a church and a rectory. Perivale's first historian was John Allen Brown, and he wrote a book about Perivale in 1890. And he said, "The most remarkable and characteristic fact connected with Perivale is that there is no public house there." Now, it's 1936 when Perivale had its first pub, the Myllet Arms, and the name was suggested by the rector of St Mary's Perivale, the Reverend Arthur Hope. This was because one of the oldest brass memorials in the church is that to the Myllet family. Henry Myllet died in about 1500, and he had 2 wives, all of whom are commemorated on the brass in the church. His first wife was Alice, his second wife was Joanna, and underneath the figures of Henry, Alice and Joanna are their 9 daughters and their 6 sons, a total of 15 children. Unfortunately, very little is known about these people, except that Henry's grandson, or one of them, also called Henry, was Lord of the Manor in 1566, after having been a church warden in 1554. And it may well have been he who decided to install a memorial to his grandparents. Henry Myllet was a church warden in 1554, and he was Lord of the Manor in 1566. The Myllet coat of arms shows 3 dragons divided by a line on a board hung outside the pub. The pub itself is a long 2-storey building of yellow and white brick with red tiles. It originally was also a hotel and had 12 accommodation rooms for guests. There's also a room that could be used for functions and large meetings, and it was aimed in the 1930s to be a pub that would cater for both the factory workers and also for directors of companies, as well as local people and passing motorists. In those days, it didn't seem to be a problem that people could drive to a pub, have a drink and drive away. Now, the pub was designed by Mr. Mussman, who went on to design many more pubs, often more architecturally daring than this one. However, a newspaper in 1935 declared that this building showed taste and dignity. It was built by Mr. Burgess, and it cost about £25,000 to build. It was opened by Mr. A.P. Herbert on the 8th of October 1936. On opening, he made a short speech in praise of a public house, which he said was a valuable community asset. It should not be criticised by people, he said, and they should not be too highly taxed. Those people at the opening of the pub included, of course, the architect, the builder, representatives from the local golf courses, and also Perivale's rector, Reverend Arthur Hope. Albert Widmer was the first landlord of the pub. Previously, he had worked in hotels in both London and Switzerland. In 1937, the year after the pub opened, you could eat a set menu here for 6 shillings and 6 pence. There were also dinner dancers in the evening. In Christmas 1936, just a couple of months after the pub was opened, a group of people from the nearby film studios at Denham came here for dinner. One of those people was a young actress called Vivien Leigh, who went on a couple of years later to star in the Hollywood blockbuster film Gone with the Wind, and she appeared in many more films as well. It's amazing that she was actually in this pub. In more recent times, the pub has adapted for children. There's a children's play centre called the Wacky Warehouse attached to the pub, and it's very popular with children's parties. The pub is also very near to the Old St Mary's Church, so if you're going for a concert in the church for an art exhibition, you can stop by the pub for refreshment either before and afterwards. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe to the channel, and to write any comments you have down below. Thank you.